That feeling in the pit of your stomach is more than just betrayal. It's confusion. You were the good guy. You were loyal. You provided. You were stable. You did everything you thought you were supposed to do, and she still left for someone who seems like less. So what happened? The painful truth is that her infidelity often has very little to do with your value as a man and everything to do with her internal psychological wiring. Trying to understand it by looking at your own shortcomings is a dead end. It will only lead to more pain and self-doubt. But when you understand the hidden psychological drivers behind her actions, everything becomes clear. The confusion vanishes, and you can finally see the situation for what it really was. In this video, we're breaking down the 4 real psychological reasons women cheat on good men. This isn't about making excuses for her, it's about giving you the power of understanding. Let's get into it. Number 1, she feels safe but not wanted. This is the most common, and for good men, the most confusing reason. You can make a woman feel incredibly loved while simultaneously making her feel completely undesired. Love and desire for women are not the same emotional currency. Love is built on safety, consistency, and comfort, but desire is fueled by tension, anticipation, and a hint of the unpredictable. Most good men with the best intentions systematically remove all tension from the relationship. You become a warm blanket, reliable, safe, and predictable. You treat her with unwavering respect, you avoid conflict, and you make her life easy. And while she appreciates this, it doesn't ignite the primal spark of feeling wanted. She doesn't feel like a woman being pursued by her man. She feels like a client being managed by her caretaker. The other man wins because he awakens that dormant feeling. He looks at her with a raw hunger that she hasn't seen in your eyes for months. He makes her feel chosen, not just accommodated. The cheating isn't a search for a better love. It's a desperate lunge for the feeling of being truly, passionately desired. Women cheat when they feel sexually invisible in their own relationship. The frightening part is that this happens in silence. She doesn't argue or complain. She simply disconnects emotionally first, then sexually, until one day she's gone. The man who doesn't make her feel desired inadvertently pushes her toward the man who does. Number 2, when peace feels like boredom. Let's call a spade a spade. Some women cheat because they are psychologically addicted to emotional drama and chaos. If you're a stable, good man, this is the reason that feels the most unjust. You offered her peace, but her nervous system is wired for war. A woman who grew up in an environment of instability, yelling, unpredictable affection, gaslighting, and chaos learns a dangerous lesson. Love isn't calm, it's volatile. Affection isn't steady, it's unpredictable. This dysfunction becomes her normal. Her brain craves what is familiar, even if it's toxic. So when you show up with consistency, emotional safety, and mature communication, her system goes into panic mode. She mistakes your peace for boredom and the absence of drama for a lack of passion. This is why the bad boy or the unpredictable coworker seems so exciting. He provides the emotional spike she craves. His inconsistent texting, his hot and cold attention, the forbidden tension, it all creates the adrenaline rush that her brain misinterprets as chemistry. You cannot love a woman out of this trauma. You cannot stabilize her enough to heal her. Even if you are the perfect partner, she will sabotage the relationship because she doesn't know how to do with emotional peace. The affair is her way of getting a fix, and it almost always starts as an emotional connection to the chaos long before it becomes physical. Number 3, you were her shelter, not her destination. This is a painful truth that many good men miss. You weren't necessarily the man she cheated on. You were the man she was hiding with while she was supposed to be healing. You provided love, comfort, and stability. You were her emotional shelter. But here's the hard part. Once she started to feel better, her unhealed wounds and dysfunctional patterns often reemerged, pulling her right back into the chaos she came from. Think of it this way. You were the calm rest stop on her turbulent journey, but she mistook it for the final destination. A person who hasn't done the internal work will often self-destruct when things become too good because stability feels alien and uncomfortable. Her unhealed past whispers lies. You don't deserve this. He'll leave you eventually. This is too boring. So she cheats. She associates you with a version of herself that was broken and seeks in another man a connection to a new her, even if that new connection is just as fragile. This is why you can be blindsided. She adored you, respected you, and felt safe with you, but she lacked the internal framework to hold on to a healthy love. She loved you with broken hands, and broken people don't know how to hold on. They slip. Number 4. When she stops being your lover and becomes your parent. A woman will stand by a man through almost anything: financial struggle, career changes, personal crisis. But the one thing she cannot tolerate forever is feeling like she's dating a child she has to raise. This is the silent killer of attraction in relationships with good but emotionally immature men. This isn't about being a bad person, it's about a lack of emotional leadership. It manifests in subtle ways: shutting down during conflict to avoid a difficult conversation, needing her to constantly explain your own emotions to you, relying on her to be the sole source of emotional strength and stability in the relationship. You apologize just to end an argument. You get defensive instead of reflective, and you make her manage the emotional climate of your partnership. When this happens, the shift is catastrophic. She stops seeing you as her partner and starts seeing you as her project. And projects are not attractive. The role of a mother is antithetical to the role of a lover. Once she feels like your emotional caretaker, the attraction dies a quick death. She feels emotionally alone, even when you're in the same room. At that point, she becomes vulnerable to any man who presents himself as a self-possessed, emotionally grounded adult, a man who makes her feel like a woman, not a therapist or a parent. So, there you have it, the 4 psychological reasons that have nothing to do with you not being enough. In fact, your goodness was often the very trigger. Understanding this is the first step to reclaiming your power and your peace. If you're ready to move beyond the pain and build an unshakable identity that commands respect, not betrayal, you need to be part of this community. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because we deliver these powerful insights every week. This wasn't your failure, it was your education. Now go use it.